All right, welcome to an in between session of Product Like It's Friday, even though it's Sunday today. And this will be the first coding session that we do. I'll start off by sort of reviewing where we left off the last time, and then try and code something. I'll probably do maybe an hour, maybe two, depending on how I'm feeling, and we'll take it from there. I have my main screen here that I will be sharing. Uh, and then my laptop's here, and I'm looking at the streaming browser or any other, my phone's here. And so if I'm looking down, or my keyboard's here. So if I'm looking down here, I'm looking at my other screen or keyboard, but my main shared screen will be up here. And let me do that. Now, we did a fairly streamlined story map of the simplified app that we want to build. So we're not doing any of the peripheral work. We're not, doing sign up or creating a user, those kinds of features. We're focusing on the meat of the matter, which is the actual kind of math B game itself that you can run. And then we settled on these wireframes to start moving from screen to screen. I have not given it too much thought on how I will start coding this. I have not thought about the data structures or any of that really at this point. So I'm going to try and do that now. What I did spend some time on, and I'll cover that, is I started building a Nuxt template. And the template itself is a set of tools that I will probably be using to build this app out. And I'll kind of quickly go through what some of those are. Right, so I'm using Nuxt, and that'll be the front end of the application. Along with Nuxt, I'm using something called Nuxt UI, and Nuxt UI is a UI library for Vue. And it comes with these pre-styled components using Tailwind, and just a good way to get started. I didn't want to start building button components and doing all that work. So hopefully this will help streamline the process. They do have a pro version as well. And then they also have a Figma file, both for the free and the pro version. And so hopefully as we move further, Mary can be using some of this to do mockups. So there's that. There's Nuxt UI, and I did some setup for linting and checking in everything. What else do I have here? We'll be using TRPC, which is the API endpoints that I'll build. I'll be interfacing with the front end. And that's all built into the Nuxt project. So there's a TRPC Nuxt plugin that hooks into Nuxt and makes the functions on the back end available on the front end. I won't go too much into how TRPC works, but once we get into it, we'll see. And I haven't used TRPC since I was streaming with it 2 years ago, so I'm not familiar with any of the changes that have come up, and I'm not familiar, and I'm not attuned to working with it. So I'll be refamiliarizing myself with TRPC as we go. I've also added, on that note, with TRPC, we have a router. Well, we have a single router here with the actions, the API actions that will go there. What else? I added Postgres as a library to the project, but I'll be starting with SQLite, and we'll be using SQLize. I spent a bunch of time yesterday just setting up database libraries. And okay, wow, I have a comment here. Okay, what about Zod version 4? I will be using Zod as part of TRPC. I have Zod version 3 up here. I'm not I'm not familiar with Zod version 4. I haven't been using it all that much recently, so maybe something I can look into as we move on. I'm not sure. Maybe you can add in the comments what the advantage of Zod 4 over 3 is at this point. But Zod kind of comes with TRPC. I played around with Keesley. I played around with TypeORM and one other thing, and then I settled with Sequelize. I've used Sequelize before, but we'll see how that goes. I'm not 100% satisfied with any ORM or database mapper in the JavaScript world, which is tremendously disappointing given where Ruby is with Active Record and how simple and easy it is to use. And I don't see why something like that, something as fluid as Active Record, I'm not saying Active Record is perfect, but it is far more amazing than any JavaScript database tooling library. And it baffles me that with the attention that the JavaScript world has, we don't have something better on the database side. All right, Tailwind, TRPC. I think that's really it. So I spent a bit of time setting up this Nux template yesterday, and we'll see how that goes. I'm not, again, as fluent using TRPC, so I'll kind of waddle my way through that process here. What else did I do? I added something called tasks. I have a task runner here where I can add tasks and then run them through the command line just to make my life easy as I'm testing certain things out. I do also have vtest set up in case I decide to test first. It's unlikely. I'm not a TDD person, so we'll see how that goes. Oh, and Mary's watching as a spectator today. And I'm seeing that Zod has less TSC instantiations. Okay, so, bundle size. All right, something for me to dig into at some certain point. Having that said, I'm going to try and waddle my way through seeing how we can build this app. Let's go back to the FigJam. So I have a bunch of screens here, and the starting point will be set up, which starts a game. So this idea of having some kind of a game model that represents game data, essentially a UI is simply representing some data structure in a pleasant manner. And maybe I can even start off by just dumping the entire data structure and having the data structure change bit by bit, but we'll see how I progress. And so you start the game. So we'll instantiate a game row here, and then a game has multiple rounds, and a round has multiple questions, at least to start. And my silence here is I'm trying to think whether each one of these things needs a structured data model in the database. So does each round need to have its own table? Does each question need to have its own table and row as well? I'm not sure right now. So this is what I'm talking about waddling. I purposely did not try and think of how I would build this out, just so I can kind of feel the textures out as I go. Let me just check the comments here. Okay, thanks for the feedback. It says here, you need some extra lighting. White content on the screen makes me look a bit sick. You know, I'm not sure the extra lighting would help. Let me see. I have another room in the back here, the washroom, which has, so if I can maybe let some light in from the side, I doubt that's going to make me look any more or less sick, but let's see. I also have a room back here, the closet, which has a light. If I turn on the light in the back of my head, it looks like I'm a religious figure, and so I don't want to do that. All right. This is, by the way, this is just me avoiding writing code to start. So I'll get started soon. No, this is good feedback. I don't know. I'm like a small section of the screen. I'm not looking at myself, which is one of the benefits of having like eyes that go this way, is you don't have to really see yourself. That's, looking at me is a you problem. It's not a me problem. Okay, so I'll get started with the idea of thinking up of what a game model might look like, and how we start off rounds and how we represent rounds. And the other things I'll have to think about is what kind of screens and routes I need to worry about. So first of all, this is my next template. I'll want to use dgit, and I'll probably have some command here from before, which I was using for work. So I will dgit the next template, and I believe it works on the command line. Otherwise, it would go to Git to get this, or GitHub to get this. And then we'll call it Honeypot. Could not fetch remote. Okay, so I guess I'll have to see. That's funny. I would have thought that there was a simple way of giving it a local directory. No. Okay, well, we'll Google it. Dgit local local repo. No. Just trying to look at the examples to see if there's if anybody knows how to do it. Otherwise, I'll have to push it to Git. What you know what? It's dgitting, so it's not. I don't have to use dgit at all. Next template, Honeypot. We'll just copy it, and this is, I guess the disadvantage here is that it's also copying the node modules and everything else. And these are the kinds of things I feel like when you're live streaming, anytime you do something that you precisely have not done before, it will ruin your life. Yeah, I guess I could do this as well. Let me actually try that. Next template to Honeypot. Well, I think I have to remove Honeypot. And this is again now it's deleting the node modules. Will we code today? I don't know. Let's find out. All right, so back here. And if this doesn't work, I'll just commit to copying all the node. No, I'll go back. I'll delete the node modules and then I'll copy it. It's fine. All right, let's try this. Next template, Honeypot. Depth is ignored in local clones. Use file : instead, and then done. I think that's just a message, so it did do it. I can remove the Git repo and then Git init here, and this will give me a new Git instance, and I can just do a quick commit here. Initial Honeypot commit. All right, we did it. First try. Okay, so now I have a new repo, and let's just make sure that it works, right? I have to installed because of those node modules that aren't there. All right, and then we'll start it up. We'll just take a quick look to see that everything is functional. And then we'll get to, okay, that did not copy as I wanted. Okay, yeah, so this is just the landing page. I've copied a couple of components from Nuxt UI to just make sure that they work right off the bat. And then this here is using the TRPC backend to get this message up here. So just a page that tests out the components. And then let's get back to here and let me get my thoughts together. All right, so I want a screen that has a start game button. I'm going to try and be UI driven as much as possible, but we'll see where my feelings net me out. And I'll quickly check the comments here. Okay. Setup tips, so just some messaging. And I would imagine that once, maybe this can be just the landing page. And once you click this, and maybe I can have a notes.txt here. So starting landing page, that just can be index.view, so just your basic page. And then I can have a game endpoint with maybe the game ID. And this will act as the game page, and clicking this button creates a new game. Thank you, AI. And then I have a game/ID page, which indicates that the game is begun. I might also be able to do something like round ID and question ID as well. Again, I'm not 100% sure. I'm just gathering my thoughts still. So, right, so this would be the round page. This would be the question page. And the question ID can just be like 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's just the turn ID or question ID, sure. And then this is all kind of, this doesn't need a new endpoint. The lock-in answer, correct, incorrect, that's going to all be on the turn page. And I'll just have to rethink a little bit on what the turn page, and I'll have to double check with Nuxt to see how the routing works there. And that's one of the things with starting a new project. I have not started a new project in a while. And generally, I have worked with Nuxt, but I have not been, I have not started a Nuxt project from zero in like 2 years. So I just need a refresher on creating versus editing. Next up, silly duck, and then this is all just the turn page. Okay, I'm just gonna go on to Nuxt routes and just take a quick look here and remind myself how some of these endpoints are created and how I can use them. Right, so post page, and I'm specifically looking for nested routes. Oops. I was hoping for some deeper nested routes, which gave me the extra endpoints here, but I suppose if I just, I can just have a folder with this, and then that can have an, okay, so let me play around with the routing structure and get settled there. And that way that can kind of work as a baseline for what I want. So I'll have pages, I'll have a game, and the game, if I'm in a game, I can have a game index view to start, and then I'll also have an ID. I'm adding indexes to all of these just to start. And then I guess I can have a round ID. And here I can have, and I'm not sure if this is the right way to do it in Nuxt, but let's see. And then I can just have a simple template in all of those, and then I'll have to remind myself how to do outlets. So my first hit is going to be game, and let me just get our template in there with a div that says game page. Okay. It doesn't like that these pages aren't filled out, so let me just copy and let's appease round page. No, I did mess that up. I think this is still the game page. And then this is the round page. And then this is our question page. Now when I go back, I expect this to work. And then this should give me my game. Game one should have, okay, yeah, that's fine. And then this is the round. So game ID one, round one, and then this will be the question. This, I think I added 2 game pages, and that was my confusion earlier. That's fine. I can just rename this to game landing page. And at this point, we don't have an ID. And then here, we can add a start button. And then at this point, I will have an ID. Yep, this is correct. I don't think I need to import use route. I don't want TRPC. I want the ID. And then let's output the ID. And I'm using the autocompletes from GitHub's Copilot. And here I should get the ID, and here this should just be the landing page. The other thing I quickly want to do, let me just quickly check the comments here. I have this is the lighting with a ring light. I do have a ring light. I have not done any rapid prototyping with Storybook or Histoire, and that will be something that maybe I could take a look into at some certain point. Okay, so I have my landing page for the game. I have the game ID page. And the other thing I wanted to look into in nested routes was kind of an outlet or page. And what I'm looking for here is a wrapper that these routing systems often provide. I'm not seeing anything. Oops. I'm not seeing anything here that immediately hits. So let me just do another scan. Right, so this is me getting the ID. But what I want is there's got to be a better nested routes, although that's next to. No, this is rendering. I'm looking for how to outlet, and the reason for that is how one page can be a layout for the page inside it. And that way, I might not use it, but in my head, I will probably use it, and so I'm trying to get it set up. To start, and the docs here are not giving me an immediate thing, and I'm noticing here that they have kind of read more about it. So let me see if, right, so there's a next page here. And the question is if maybe it is just next page. Okay, that's pretty cool too. I had forgotten about the slug business. So this is a good refresher. Yeah, okay. It is next page. Yeah. So on the game landing page, I don't want that, but on the game ID page, I wouldn't mind trying this out just to see if the pattern works as I would expect. So if I go on the game page, I still see game page ID, and now I should see game page and round page, but I don't. So it isn't next page. I'm the parent view, and then you do a next page, and that should be the child view. I mean, is there to display child component, you have to insert next page inside the parent. And let me just take a look at the structure here again. Parent. Pages parent view. And under parent, we have child, which is what I have here. We will not be using. I also like how when I go down to look at, you get to see like my head here. Yeah, I mean, this is the part where I literally said I'm going to be waffling about to start, and then once the scaffolding is in place, this will become simpler. Yeah, I really would have expected round page here to have game page being displayed up there, but I'm not seeing that. And so let's try to understand. Okay. Is that why? Yeah, let me just, because this is an index page. Yeah, I think my understanding of this is incorrect. This is game ID's index page. And then parent. Because here, I guess they end up using this parent.view that syncs with parent. So I don't think I can use index for this. So this is the index. So do I have to add an ID.view page here and not use this index page? And then, of course, what happens given not index page, given that I have both at the same time. So that works. Oh no, it doesn't work. Like, okay, well, so this is my wrapper page, and this is the index page. That makes sense. Yeah, like I said, I have not done this in a while. So this is not the index page, and this is now the round page. Even if I don't use it, super helpful for me to wrap my head around and get this right so that I'm not necessarily waffling around with it later. Okay, and good to know that I can just move the code around. So if I did just delete this index page, that means that this will simply not have anything here, and this becomes, okay, that's enough for me to feel out routing on Nuxt. And now I can look into actually building something out. And then consider what the data model for that is. Okay, so this can be our game landing page, the one without an ID, and it has a start a game button. And I'm going to look a little bit into these views and see if there's something that stands out that I can use. Something like a card view. And then I guess what kind of panel views do they have? Dashboard panel. Yeah, a card view is fine. And I can just act as a slide. I'm just going to copy this wholesale for now. And then I'll also look at centering everything. This is my landing page. Whoops. So on the game landing page, okay, the card is here. Can I do this? Yeah, my screen is not well fit to do something like this, but let me add some padding here. Yeah, okay, I can actually see the edges there. And then, yeah, I don't think I have to do any more here. Header, footer, and this is where the main body will go. And again, I have not used Nuxt UI before, so this is really a play discovery session with the tooling, so I get a better sense of how I can build this out while I'm trying to build it out as well. Okay. This could just be the start game button right here. Okay, yeah. And I suppose I can do something like this, just to center things. So justify center as well. Yeah, it seems to be. And this is how you center things. Okay, going back to Honeypot, setup tips. I'm not going to do too much in terms of getting the text and copy in there. I'm just going to try and see if I can move along generally with this. Okay, so if I click, now I want the game to be created. And then I want to go to the round's landing page where you can start the round. Okay, now we're sort of getting into a more concrete way of doing this. You know what? I will copy. Oops, not BR. I will get some copy in there bit by bit, and then see how things go. And I don't want to spend too much time trying to get the perfect everything. What did I do here? Let's try, okay. Yeah, div and close div, right? And add some gap there. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to try and get everything super perfect, both in terms of the HTML or the code. Like, again, I'm just trying to feel my way through the app first, and then we'll change it if we need to, or we'll never change it. Okay, so clicking start game should now give me, it should start a game and it should go to the ID of the game. And it should go to should also go to the landing page of the round. Because you start and you're already on the round one. Ready to start, and so forth, so on. Okay. Start game, click, go to round page. Yeah, we can do that. And now here I will need to refresh myself in TRPC, because I need to create a mutation on the TRPC side that will create the game. And then that'll get me started with using the backend. I also need to create a data model for the game so that I can store it. So now I have to think a little bit more along the lines of what the data model looks like. The purpose of template, yeah, sure. I can quickly go over what the purpose of a template is maybe I can kind of looking for a simpler. Yeah, so this here is a view component. And then the component is being used to create the page. So when I go to this page, for example, this is the index page of the entire app, which hits this index.view component, which has the code to render the page. And there's two parts to a view component. One of them is the script, where the JavaScript code goes, where you need to put any logic that needs to be manipulated, or you grab data via an API. So in this case, we are getting this data here from the API. And then everything that goes in the template is HTML alongside some view sprinkles, which is, so if you see this double braces, anything that goes in here is effectively JavaScript code, let's just say. That references often what you have here or somewhere in your app. So you can either have a function call here, or you could call certain variables that you have. So in this case, I have this hello variable that has a greeting property. And so this gets it from the API. And then this here will display that greeting. So as I pass, so if I say Mary here, this is the server will get Mary. And let me actually maybe show the server code as well. And so this is the code on the server. And I'm going to make it say, hi there, comma, the input text that we're getting from the front end, which will be Mary being passed into the API here. And this should display Mary. So when I come back here, it's already refreshed and it says, hello, Mary. And so everything that you see in the template here is HTML code. Now, there are more templates that you will see within templates, which is present here, I think. Yeah. So when I copy that card component, it has 2 other template bits in it. And then here's the main body of this component, which essentially is more HTML. This template specifies what you want, what HTML you want in the header for this card. And then this template specifies what HTML or what components you want in the footer. And this is built in. This is being provided by the card component. Other components might have different template bits. And then whatever goes in here in the center is the main body of the component. Right. Okay, yeah. So now I think that covers templates. Let me know if there's any other questions you have on that. Okay. Okay, this was not saying hi there, Mary, but okay. After I refresh, this did say hi there, Mary now. All right, let me go back to the game. Game landing page. When I click here, I wanted to create a new game. And then let me take a look at Nuxt TRPC. And hopefully this will give me a quick idea of how to do mutations. All right, so here they have an example for the query aspect. I'm actually not, I don't think, a huge fan of this business just yet, the internal caching that these libraries do. I don't have experience of it, so I'm not as fluent in that yet. But okay, so I guess I add the mutation on the server side, and then that should just run. Just checking the comments over and over. Right. So I guess I could just go to TRPC mutation straight up and just look at the TRPC docs for a quick. I'm just looking at what this looks like on the server side. All right, so I define the input, and then I do dot mutation. Okay. So I'm going to open a separate buffer here and actually go into the server side. And I'm just going to be dumping everything in a single router here for now, and then we'll see what kinds of other organization we can do. But again, not too concerned about writing the best code at this point. I'm just going to accept everything this AI gives me and then change it. Okay, maybe not everything. Okay. In this case, I actually don't have any input. I'm simply creating a new game. So I'm not using ops either. And then here I want to do something like, and so I don't have this code yet, but I want to do something like game.create. And everything is empty for now, and we'll see how that goes. So game.create, and then I think I don't need to do an await there, and then return the game. And that's all it'll do. It'll create a new row in the database for this game model that I do not have yet, so I'll have to create it. And then on the front end side, this will take that game and then redirect to the game page and the round page. And by default, anytime you start a game, it's going to be round 1. So we'll do create game here, and then add a script portion and function create game. Again, we are gonna vibe it to some degree. This I want outside. This is, and I'll just need to reference this here, TRPC. So here I can directly call this, and this is a mutation. So I'll say mutate, and then I don't think I need to pass it anything because I don't have anything there. And that should do it. Why did this not? I would have expected to add the async. And for now, we'll just log the game. And then I can actually come back here and just for testing purposes, not do this and just return something with an ID of, let's say, 100. 101, just so I know it was me. And then see that logged to the console when I click game.create. Okay, let me just clear that up. And when I click start game, I'm getting undefined, which means that something's coming back, but it's not hitting. It's not hitting the data. Mutate. Maybe mutates don't return anything. Maybe this is where my understanding of TRPC isn't quite. No, it seemed like mutates are returning something. Right, return user. So I can definitely return data does not exist on type. Interesting. Okay, so that's the problem. Okay, good. Data not exist on type ID. So I guess I could just say, just grab the game directly here, and that should work. And it does. Okay, so now I'm getting the game ID. I would have expected the mutate to follow the format for the use query, but it turns out it doesn't. Or maybe I didn't set it up properly. Who knows? All right, so I'm hitting the server. I'm getting some information back. I still have not really created an actual data model. And maybe I can see how far I can go without actually creating the actual database and just getting some of this flow ready. Just going to quickly check the comments again. All right. Just thinking here. Yeah, I can, because all I need to do here once I have the game is with the game ID. I'm going to try and let the AI guide me here. I don't need a question. And maybe here this will give the AI a little, fine. Okay, what's it doing? Okay, so it wants to go to the question to start. Obviously, I don't want that. So we're just gonna try and end that here. And now once I click on the start button, I should see myself redirected to the game page. And now we can start. And this is the game and round page. And so now I can start filling out the round page. And this is a round landing page. Round 1, you've got 90 seconds to answer. We're ready to start. Okay. And here, and again, I did this whole business, and I'm not 100% sure at this stage whether I should have a round ID.view page or not, but it doesn't matter for now. I am simply going to do a bunch of copying and pasting as a starting point to get me started anyway. And then I realized that we never hit this. So I'll have to think of a few things. Does the round page display in the context of a game page or not? Or are they their own individual things? But luckily, I don't have to think about that too much at this stage. I can just copy paste a bunch of code. And if it's not the case, then we will fix it. Here, I won't have this. Yeah, definitely finite state machines can be helpful, but I'm trying to not introduce too much at this stage, and really just kind of flow my way through first. And then as this becomes more serious and there's more of a need for a finite state machine type flow, which honestly most apps are really just finite state flows anyway. But I do want to not introduce too much yet. Okay, so here I can start by getting great. So this is the game ID and my round ID. Game ID we won't need, and we'll just say round ID. So now we're in round 1. And you've got 90 seconds to answer. That can be our first bit here. And then our second bit can be, oops, come on. Please, you can only view. I'm only viewing, relax. No, I did not want. This is where the AI is trying to do too much. And for this, maybe I can just do that and just do a simple bold business here and see how that pops up. No centering for now. We'll just work with this. You know what? Fine. And again, I know that divs aren't the right usage here, but I don't care. And then we have a start one round button and then an end game kind of cancel type button. Let me see what I have in terms of. That's a link variant. So I want to see what kind of variants I have here. Solid, outline, soft, subtle, Ghost. Huh. Okay, nice. And link. I actually don't mind Ghost for this kind of a thing. Let's get this in here for end game. Actually, I think it's end round, isn't it? Is it? No, so finish round comes here, so it is end game. So you started the game, and you're like, I know I clicked the start game button, but I didn't want it. And that's actually something I was thinking about before. If I can take a quick detour, which is what happens when the facilitator incorrectly clicks correct or incorrect, and then the students are like, "What? This is the worst thing that could happen to me in my life. I was right, but you clicked incorrect." And if the game doesn't give the facilitator a way of backing out of it, that could literally cause riots in the school. So, we have to decide whether we want to prevent that kind of a scenario. But that will come later. Just something I was thinking about. Because you can't really predict what children will or will not do at any given moment in time. It's nobody knows. Okay, I'm going to copy this start game button into the round here as well. And then this can be, I added, yeah, it could be that. So flex call and gap 4, that should be good enough. There is no click yet, and start round. Start round ID. And we have a start round button. Why this end game is not centered within the button, I do not know, and I shall not care at this moment in time. But just for my understanding, I will try the link variant. The link variant also acts like a button without this centered, and that's fine for me for now. Okay, so we got start round and end game. Catch up on the comments again. Should not use B for styling text or granting importance. We should be using strong. I mean, again, I'm trying not to care about this stuff, but I actually do appreciate the reminders. I do miss, 1997 internet sometimes in HTML, 1995, whatever. Yeah, I should be using strong. The second comment. Thank you. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Hinoji? Is that the text is super small here on my comments? Oh, I can even show a comment here on the screen. Look at that. All right, that's pretty cool. Okay. All right. We're kind of building the skeleton out in a very, very bare bones manner. I'll decide what to do with this later, because I might need the templating as we kind of go around, but I'm not saying that right now. Okay. And here we still have not created the data model. We still have not stored anything in the data. We've kind of faked our way up until here. And I kind of like that because it delays me needing to make certain decisions on what that data model will look like exactly. So once you start the round, you land up on the question or turn page. I might rename that later, but for now, question it is. And you see a question. And this is kind of an app on its own, I suppose, right? You're seeing the question, you click here, you get options, and you click here. And here we're still on the turn, because when you click next, that's where it goes to the next turn. Cool. I'm going to do a quick time check for myself. We're about an hour in. Okay, yeah. I always look at time and I go, I should have been able to do more than I've done thus far. But again, I have not started a new project in a while with Nuxt and all these other sort of component libraries and technologies that I'm using. So there's still sort of this familiarization phase. Okay, so turn, display this. I might skip this for now and add kind of these things a bit later. Even this, even though I have been copying and pasting this information. But I think for today, even if I don't end up creating the data model, I'll be happy if I can get to kind of this stage and then click here and go to the next question, sort of creating this turn loop. If I can get to this turn loop, I'll be happy. And then maybe even this round loop, because it's effectively the same thing and it's going to show the same thing over and over. Okay, so turn it is. And again, here, I could probably just copy this entire thing for the turn or for the question as well, which I'll do right now. But again, a bunch of this might change. Get the question ID, round one, turn question ID. I know. It should just be turn ID, fine. And here, the main aspect of this is displaying the question itself. So here I'm just gonna hard code it. And then here, what am I doing? Okay. And then I have a lock in answer button. And this goes away. But that's just the page itself. I need a way to get to that page. So click, create a start round function. It doesn't need to be async, right? Because it'll actually literally just do a redirect. So I'll just accept this and see what happens. So I do need, I mean, I could just live with this, but that's fine. I will grab the ID out of there. And then in this case, we're starting with question number one and simply going to that page. So that looks good to me. And let's see if that works as we intend. Start round one. And now we're round one, turn one with a question displaying current player and a lock and answer button. Just checking in. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I need to find maybe a better setup where I don't have to show you my bald head every time I'm looking at comments. So once I click lock and answer, now the interaction is staying within the page up until this screen. So I click lock and answer, and I should, right. And in this case, well, one of the things we didn't do is have a timer here. Hopefully when Mary gets to the higher fidelity mockups, she does place a timer element here. And then we can deal with that. But for now, I'll just focus on what we have on screen. I should see, so I'm going to need some kind of a state on this page to indicate whether the answer has been locked in or not. And again, I'm not going to try and be too fancy at this stage and be super just answer locked in. And we'll just use this ref is answer locked in, just for fun. And here, yeah. Now this is if the answer is not locked in. I want to display a locked in option. And then yeah, I'll just go with this for now. I could have created a function there, but no big deal. And then what I want to do is just an else. I want flex, but I do not want. I actually want it to be a flex row items. I don't want to accept everything. Justify between, not baseline, between, and okay. And the buttons I want are correct and incorrect in this case. So I will just copy these here, correct, and just remove that because I don't know what you do with that. And I'll style these differently. I realize I have the rocket icon for each one of these, so we'll change that as well. And this is the lucid. Okay, so when I click lock and answer, now it shows me these buttons. Let's go style them properly. I don't think they need too much styling, actually. I think both of these can just be outlines for now with different icons, and that should be good enough. This is interesting. It reset the state. I did not expect it to go back to having me click that button. Actually, no, that's not true. I do want the color to be different. Yeah, maybe success and error. If the colors are too tacky, we'll change them. No worries. And we won't change them now. We'll change them much later when we are actually in a place to care about this stuff. And let me see what we have in terms of icons here. And where we get icons. Over to 200,000 icons from Iconify. Presumably this link will lead me there. And then oh, I see. All right, so this is probably I for icon, lucid for the icon category and the icon name. That's what I'm assuming it is. And Iconify will probably give me options for multiple. You know, Anthony Fu's done a lot of work, both like in the JavaScript community, Vite and Vue. So shout out to Anthony. Icons. Oh, wow. Okay, let me just search for. Okay, yeah, that assumption was correct. So it seems like I go here and I'm seeing a whole bunch of icons. If I want a check mark, they look like this. Just a check. So let's get that in there first. And then X. Yeah, that's good enough. And that's just an X. Okay. Let's get the X in there. And the other thing we'll do is we'll simply get a lock icon. Trying to see something that's okay here. Let's go with this one. Sure. And that's just lock. And now we're starting to look like, okay, this is starting to look real. Just a comment check-in. I did not hear that he was moving to Japan. I hope that he lives a happy life in Japan and still continues to contribute to the open source community, because those contributions are massive. For note, I am actually using Aunt Foo's ESLint config. I've modified it a little bit. I like semicolons, sorry, and some other details. So that, so yeah, just using his config with some odd modifications. Okay, so now we need to look into a correct and incorrect flow. Perhaps using these emojis, but maybe we can modify them as well. Let me actually see one more thing. What? This is a lot. I mean, this is a lot. Can I just search for an, so here's, we're filtering icon sets. This is gonna be like a B icon set. But okay, I mean, emoji. Emoji 1, B. We'll go with this. So it's emoji 1, honeybee, and at least now I know how to use icons on their own now. With just this. And what we can do is have that in the footer. So now we're sort of using that that footer template, or the footer template as it was intended. Emoji 1. This is frustrating. I mean, I just want to copy it. It doesn't want to let me just. I just want this in my clipboard. How do I do that? This. Thank you. And now we have a B icon as we're moving along. We'll, again, consider what we need to do there. I need more state on this page, and I need a state for once it has been answered, whether it's correct or incorrect, which will display either one of these screens. These could be entire screens on their own, but for now, I'm just going to put everything in just one. And again, not concerned about structure or purity at this stage. Yeah, I'm just... I guess the answer state is correct, incorrect, null. I guess I could just use one state for all of these because it does switch. Locked in. So pending. It's a terrible name, but okay, fine. And we start with pending. And then we can go here and just say answer state pending. Do this. Then show. So I click answer state is equal to correct, and I click answer state is equal to incorrect. It did not like that. Why is this? What am I doing wrong here? Expected 1 type arguments, but got 2. Let's put a comma. Okay, that makes sense. And now this is good. And let's fix this to say answer state is locked in. And let me just quickly retest this portion. So locked in, this is pending state. This is this. And now once I click this or this, well, nothing will change, but it is being set. And I can this is not correct now. If answer state is pending, and then this needs to be answer state is locked in. So let's get that, and then let's come back here. If answer state is locked in, I need to display this, and otherwise we're sort of just showing you a different screen. Should this be a different screen? I don't want to create a new endpoint for this, so it's just going to have to be some duplicate things in here, which means if answer state is pending, I think, or locked in. Does it know? Yeah, it knows. Okay, so if answer state is pending or locked in, we see this, and then I'll effectively just duplicate this for now, and I'll be happy with it. So now if answer state is correct, and then I think this should be an else if. And so should this could be just no, I don't want that. Yeah, I mean, this is fine for now. Div correct. And then yeah, that's fine. Incorrect. Yeah, this autocomplete business is a little weird right now, but we will fix it. Okay, just checking on the comments again. A linting recommendation and upper right corner search. Yeah, I think I do need a better way of. Yeah, I messed this up. That's fine. I messed this up quite a bit actually. So I'm going to undo my way, because at some point I think I accepted the AI suggestions and they were absurd. Div correct. And now I should be whole, and this should be incorrect. And now all my elements are there. So lock and answer incorrect. Great. And let's refresh. Lock in correct. And now note, obviously, when I refresh this, I go to the initial state, but in the actual game where the data is being stored on the server side, when we refresh this, that data will be loaded from the server side, and you will see the question state, or it might even kind of forward us to whatever question we're supposed to be on. It might give us like a continue game button here, because theoretically you could hit this URL at any time, and what should happen then? But we'll take care of that later. So I got incorrect. Let me see if I can fill this up a little bit. Yeah, so the incorrect is supposed to be this huge thing with an X mark. And yeah, I mean, should I be taking up time to, okay, what is this? If you want, should I be taking up the time to do to find these icons and all this at this stage. I mean, why not? Did that actually change color? Is it red? Oh yeah, there we go. Huh. I'm gonna have to do that here. And then, is there a text success class even? There is. Is there a text error class? There is. I mean, I could just do a 400, 300 to start and see how it goes. I know I put it in the error side. That is not red, my friends. So it might not be the text color that needs changing here, and maybe this will give me an indication to how I can modify color. No. This is all I get. This is all I get. Just this. I can control the size, but I cannot control the color. That's fine for now. We will not worry about that. And then whatever. Okay, so I will just get a check mark icon for now, and then I can look for colored ones or what have you later. Like this one. Whoops. Correct. Yeah, I'll fix it. I'll fix it. And then lock incorrect. Huh. Why is this not centered, I was going to say, but that's fine. Old friend flex comes into center, and then okay, let me just add the other text, and so I can say I'm completed with this, and then finish round should start the new round, and then effectively I've done what I had intended just without the data model. Should text not be should text color not change the SVG color? If it's SVG current color, it should go to the text color, should it not? Or am I mistaken there? But for now, let me just get this extra text in there. What am I doing? Okay. Let's get this in here, and then let's put that in there. And now in either of these situations, we have this the next up business. So maybe I should have just I'm just going to copy paste. That's fine. And in this case, I'm going to do a flex column. And here I want to either go next up or finish round. Next up. Come on, give me a name. No. Cozy Koala is uncomfortable. Oh, I like that. I don't know why I did that. Okay. And then the next one is finish round. And finish round would lead us to the next round. Good. And next up should take us to the next question. Good. Let me just see what this looks like. Correct. Next up, finish round. And I want the styles that I had before. So I don't want these styles. I want the styles from not here, but here. I will need to fix that. So the variant up here is solid, and the variant here is ghost. And then for now, I don't have anything here, and I don't have anything here. Come back here, and let's just more copy paste here. Oops. Because we want the exact same things, and then I'll add the incorrect. Yeah, I need to change the colors. That's fine. Okay, let's do next round. Or sorry, next question. No, we don't want answer state. We want next question. And for now, I'm obviously just gonna do this business here, but this should go to the server. Because that question at this point, I don't know if it's going to be generated or not, or what have you. But for now, this is fine. It's going to go to question 2, and we're going to have the next question pop in. And then finish round as well. So you should kind of know that I want to finish round. And let's get the finish round function in there. Okay, it's guiding me to do something. And here's how, like, I haven't even been reading the comments that the AI has been generating. So do people read comments? Sometimes. Okay, when I want to finish this round, it means I need to redirect to the next round page with the round ID. Yep. And again, this should also go to the server when we have it. And this should give me a next round. All right, let's give that a go. Incorrect. Finish round. Now round 2. So now we have this business of kind of keeping track of the names, which we'll get to later if we can. And then starting round 2, it's correct. And then the next person. So I'm round 2, turn 2. Correct. Next person. Incorrect. Next person. I'm just looking at the turn ID going up each time. And then incorrect. Finish round. And here I have the option to end the game or start the next round. That's not bad. we have here now completed this flow without any data models, without any actual game logic in terms of, presenting you with the question. We've just done the flow and the scaffolding around this. And we haven't necessarily used the cleanest of code methods or what have you, because my main goal was to just get the loop finished. And now we have the opportunity to play on kind of the more other fun aspects of this. I won't do the leaderboard right now, and then I will not do the data model today. I might do it off stream, or I might randomly on a given day come back to do parts of the data model. And I think in my mind, add the data model for the game and the rounds and the turns, and then start working on randomizing these questions. And we'll just keep it to the simple kind of addition, subtraction base questions to start, and we'll take it from there. I think that's what I had wanted to do. I will commit the code in a bit, but that's it. That's it for today. Thank you. I'm actually thrilled that that we had an audience and people were in the comments. I'm actually thrilled about that. And then the next stages are as I'm seeing in the comments about the alignment. I'm going to do some cleanup work later, and then the data model work maybe in the next session. So thank you for joining this in-between session of Product Like It's Friday, even though it is Sunday. And I'll see you next time. And I like how every time we're ending, I need to move my eyes to the end stream button. See you later.